Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, collectors of all ages, welcome to another haul video. This man right here wants to describe exactly what a haul video is.
Yeah, well, it's what you bought recently, so or you've read recently, and show it off to the world. That's what a haul video is. So if you're not sure, that's what it is.
I tried to set him up, but it didn't work. You. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this Merry Christmas Haul edition. I am OmniBeau, joined by Sharif, who we are demanding changes his name to something more comic book accurate. Joined by down below, Leigh Chalker and Spedsy Rob Lisle. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. We have surpassed 600 AussieVerse members. Thank you, everybody that has been subbing. We certainly appreciate it. We are climbing that ladder where we can get more content out to you. Why does more subs matter? It just does. Don't question it. So now we're going to be showing hauls. Let's get down to it. First up and onto the path is not me, this guy.
Well, I just realized you could have said deck the halls with halls of halls. Like, anyway. Now, I don't understand. Is this a snappy sort of rapid fire, or do you want like 20-minute soliloquies?
No, we want go, baby.
All right.
Don't get me wrong. You can talk about a few things, though. You can be a little bit Sharif, but don't be Leigh.
Okay, well, so, yeah, if you can't tell... I am in my lounge room because my house is being renovated. There are literally comic boxes everywhere. They used to be in the garage, and now my garage is part of the house. So now the house has comics. You can see that's my front door, and those are all comic boxes blocking the passage out. So my hauls were hard to get to, so much so just before renovations began, I bought a book that I was super excited to read. And I put it on my shelf. Then half the wall units were moved, and I couldn't get to it. So I haven't been able to read it since a month ago when I bought it. But then I thought, wow, it would make a really good book to show. So I'm going to go get it. So this has worked out. So now I'm actually going to read this thing tonight. So one of my go-to favorite, I'm a comic book creator, storyteller myself. And one of my favorite sort of stories is Old Man guides a young girl or boy or whatever on an adventure. It's a tale as old as time. Thinking like The Last of Us, Mandalorian, everyone's done it. But Old Man Biscuit and Rocket, what? Self-plug there, psychogenitor.com. And everyone has told me you like those stories so much, you should go back where they started from, and that's with this chestnut, Lone Wolf and Cub.
Oh.
So I was stoked to find this chunky monkey while in Adelaide a few months back, and snapped it up real quick. And now, having moved a wall unit to AussieVerse, because that's how much I love the verse that is Aussie, I will read it. What I also picked up while I was in Adelaide was one Death Metal Emo Elves by one Dean Rankin. This serves as like a triple threat for me because one, I wanted to read it. Two, as an illustrator myself, Dean is probably the most successful Australian illustrator who plays in my sort of, Leigh and I are both comic creators. We're vastly different in our terms of illustration. So I would be in Dean's camp, whereas, Leigh might be in a Jason Paulos type camp. So this is the man in charge of the camp that I am in. So I wanted to see what he was up to. I have read this. It is loads of fun. It serves as a bit of research too, because I want to do something similar to this in the coming months. So well worth checking out at all good whatnot depositories. Not suppositories, depositories. And then the last big Marvel book I bought, Punisher Frankencastle. I've not read it. I've heard good things. The only bit I have read is in I want to say it was Dark Reign or something with what's Wolverine's son's name with the 2 claws up top, one at the
Deacon.
Yeah, when an issue where he sliced up Frank Castle, and then I think that's what leads into this.
That is
Not
exactly
sure.
right.
So I'm expecting wacky good times because Frank Castle as a Frankenstein just sounds like good fun. And then lastly, we were talking before the show about being honest and whatnot. So if you have read a comic book by the name of Ring Around the Rosie by myself and Leigh Chalker and Ryan Vella and Ben Sullivan, and particularly if you've read the back, you would know that Rosie was an interesting whatnot to put together, and times have remained interesting. But we're all good buddies now and all that sort of stuff. But there's been some troubled waters. The waters are calm now. But amongst the turbulent times, our friend Dave Dye drew up a little story for Ring Around the Rosie, and I was fortunate enough to run into Dave, and at the time we were unsure the future of Rosie, so he said, "Would you like to take one of the pages?" And the opportunity to get an A3 size piece of Dave Dye art, especially something that you wrote the words to and Dave beautifully. Like, I wish that is where I want to live, in a panel like that. That is everything I could ever dream of as a writer, as a creator, just as a reader. I love that sort of scene setting panel like that. So yeah, very, very honored and privileged to have this. Also, fun fact, this is a while ago now that I wrote it, but I think I wrote this as a rabbit, and a rabbit that got ripped up by a wolf. And this is why communication with your artist is, having another storyteller as your artist is amazing. And just a worldly guy like Dave. Dave said, "Does it have to be a rabbit?" And I said, I guess not. And he goes, "Because a wolf would rip a rabbit to shreds. There would be nothing left. You're better off doing like a lamb or something, or a small deer." So here we go. Dave did a small deer, and the story is all the better for it. So jealous. That's my haul.
Fantastic. That is great. I was just going to leave it on that for like the next minute, but we're trying to be. Stop it! We're trying to go. Okay,
it froze. My internet froze.
I am going to try and show you how it's done, baby. How a quick one's done. Just don't tell my partner. So what we've got first is we have a couple of mangas here. We have the last volume of Chainsaw Man, volume number 12 that just came out. I've only read the first couple, so I have a lot of Chainsaw Man to read. Next, we have Atom, the beginning. I'm up to volume 5. This is the prequel to Astro Boy, one of the many loves of my big, small, large, medium-sized heart. Next, we have
Thank you.
Couple of Junji Ito books adding to the collection. We have Black Paradox, which kind of sounded really cool. I won't go into it because it's about people who want to themselves, and yeah, they don't, and they get together, and it sounds really sad, but then it's not apparently. But then it's creepy. The next one we then have is same author, Censor, which looks really cool. So I've got about what 20 of his books now. So we're getting there. There's still quite a few more to get. Next on the manga list, we have Afro Samurai complete box set. I remember watching the show and I really dug it. Samuel L. Jackson was the voice of Afro Samurai. It's got 2 trades in it. It's a shame they're not hardcovers, but what are you going to do? At least you get the slipcover and you get a couple of cards in there too. You get like that cover and you get that. Go back in there. Something else that I tend to say that you got there as well. So, yeah, that's cool. Only 2 omnibuses for this haul, and that is the final number 5 of the Brubaker. Brubaker, Captain America Omnibus. I stuff up my writers a lot. I nearly said Remender. No, it is Brubaker, volume number 5. I am so happy to get this because for years I wanted all of these and it took a long time to get them all. They've finally reprinted them all. Finally got it. But what was even better, Spedsy just mentioned Frankencastle. Well, I'm sorry, Spedsy, but I'm going to make your book look really small because what have I got? I got The Punisher by Remender. I had to look at the spine before I said Brubaker. Punisher by Remender Omnibus. This is one that I've wanted for so long, and it is so out of print, and it's very hard to find. This has Spedsy's Frankencastle in it, as well as all the before that. And it's funny, Spedsy, because the consensus usually is that the Frankencastle is not the good part of it. But you know, you don't listen to other people. You judge things for yourself, okay? The reason why they said that is because it was very, very different to Punisher. And hey, you might like it, man. I didn't mind it. It's definitely not your normal Punisher sort of book, but it's still a cool concept.
Now, hey, can I tell you a cool thing about Brubaker?
Yeah,
man. I love thinking about names like Peter Wilson. He's obviously going way back, was the son of Will. And to be Smith was to be a blacksmith. So Brubaker, I imagine a guy that baked, but also brewed stuff. And they were like, oh, well, his name's Jacob Baker. And the dude was like, come on, guys, I make drinks as well. Anyway, on with the show.
When he brews, does he make chatka or whatever it's called? Or is it just like beer and stuff, man?
I'll get back to you on that. I'll do some reading.
Moving on, I was lucky enough for Dion, my mate, once again to hook me up with a good thing. He had these 3 hardcovers that I wanted, and he basically gave them all to me for a pretty damn good price. And that is the Edgar Rice Burroughs Joe Kubert Years of Tarzan, volume 1 to 3 in hardcover. You don't come across these too often, and I was pretty rapt to get them because I'm a big I love the old Tarzan, Zorro sort of stories, and I don't have anything Zorro or Tarzan in collected editions, so that's pretty cool to have that on my shelf.
Hopefully you don't come across them at all because you want to keep them in good condition. Anyway, moving on.
Next, we also got one that I guarantee you will now be announced as an omnibus because that's how my fate rolls. If you believe in that stuff, I buy something, then the better edition comes out, and this is Hulk Dogs of War, oversized hardcover, completely out of print. It is a massive gap filler in the Hulk collections. Very hard to find. It's still wrapped, so I don't know why people are buying it without reading. What am I talking about? I've got a million books like that. This is from Robert Nugent. Thank you, brother. You're always hooking me up, man. I really appreciate it. So that big boy is on my shelf. 2 more books and 2 more things. Last one. This is a Christmas book, Claws by Grant Morrison. I remember buying the hardcover thinking, yay, I've now got the hardcover to Claws. Then finding out it was only 1 part of 3. And then I went, I've got 1 part of Claws. So now I've got the complete collection of Claws, and I'm very interested to read this because it looks like a really, really cool read. For those that don't know about it, it is the true history of St. Nick, Claws guy, with the Coca-Cola company and all the stuff that happened before. And look, silver gilded pages. Moving on, we then have
written by Grant, son of Murray. Anyway, keep going.
We then have a collection that I had for years on my shelf, sold about 2 years ago because it was just sitting there. I never really read it. That's what I tell people. And now I have collections all around me, and I've got to get it back in. And that is Grant Morrison's Lost Girls. If you don't know what this is, good for you. If you do know what it is, shame on you. Shame. This is something that I'll let you look up for yourself because I'm not going to say it on YouTube and get monetized. And the 2 last things we have are we went to the festival, the music festival. Which one was it? Good Things? I think that was the one that had Limp Bizkit, and it had Corey Taylor and Pennywise, all these rockin' bands, right? Guess what they had there? They had a pop culture stand. Why? I don't know. Claudia, my partner, went for a drink. She came back with Spider-Man socks. Okay, cool. Not going to say no. And last but not least, my mate, the one that was on our show recently in the Spider-Man PS5 video, that Aussie comic dude who I found out is a sick DJ, man. Look the guy up. He got me a poster, not just a poster, but a freaking huge poster of the PS5 game. I don't know where I'm going to put that, but I'm going to find somewhere, and that is my haul. Yeah.
Nice. Not gonna match that energy. I will try to go as quickly as I can. Again, starting off with singles, slowly getting there. My Anne Rice trilogy, Interview with Vampire, was this Queen of the Dam, and let me know what's the other one. Just okay, so yeah, was the Interview, Queen of the Dam, and the start. I think yeah,
oh,
yeah, the stat. Okay, so this series, this whole bunch is all the missing parts of Scarlet Spider, which is gonna be bound. So I was missing the crossover. What was that? Damnation. So with the Doctor Strange, the Damnation crossover 4-issue, Ghost Rider, Iron Fist, what else? And the last 8 issues of the series. So
you're not allowed to find those. I hate you enough.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be my next one. The first one next year.
I don't want to see it.
Don't you always see my customs? Anyway, got this in auction in one of the Facebook groups. Dr. Sleepless. I think that's the whole series. I'm not sure. So that's gonna be another bind. Another series, Desolation Jones. Can't remember how many issues to that series. But this one, Marvel Mangaverse.
Ooh.
I think apart from the Marvel stuff, there might be other books as well. I think there was a Spider-Man. All right, so singles are all done. Soft covers. This one is not for my kids; it's for me. So it's Steven Universe. Really hard to come by this one. Won it on eBay auction. Really lucky on that one. Next one is a 4-volume set of Air. It's a Vertigo book. No idea what it's all about. Volume 2, 3, and 4 were on auction, and then I had to buy volume 1. All right, so I recently sold my Aquaman by Jeff Johns Omni because that only collected like the first half of the series. I want the whole new 52, so I sold them. Got the trades that were collected in the Omni. Fun fact though, issue 20 wasn't collected in the Omni, and neither was it collected in the trades. So I'm slipping a single into there. All right. Another series that has been collected in hardcover and deluxe, but I sold my deluxe and got a trade. no prize to guessing what I'll be doing with the trades. All right, so volume 1 of the, gotta check the name. Christopher Priest, Black Panther has come out. I think volume 2 should be solicited anytime soon. Volume 1 of the Omni collects the first 2 complete collection. But I can't wait for volume 2, so I'm gonna do all 4 collected editions into one massive Omni. Yum yum. Book from Mark Millar, The Chosen One. This collects all 3 of the American Jesus, I think. Yeah, American Jesus series. So thin, looks like a 6 issues, but I think it collects all 9. Another series that I won on an eBay auction, Coffin Hill by, I can't pronounce his name.
I like
Her
the
name.
title of that one.
Yeah, Caitlin Kittredge and Inaki Miranda. So just a quick 1, 2,
Coffin Hill.
and 3, and that is the whole series right there. Dark Horse book demo. Bunch of emo kids, and that's all I know about it. So saw it on someone's
exactly like
poll. Yeah, pretty thick. Can't wait to get into it. It's black and white art.
Oh,
Beautiful.
So like the Aquaman Omni that I sold off, I am selling off the Flash Omni as well. So I got the trades to replace that because I'm gonna add the rest of the trades for the 52 new 52 run. But what does come after new 52 is Rebirth and beyond. So Flash Forward is part of that era. This is going to be part of the bind as well. First compendium in the hall, ghosted. This collects, I think, the all 20 issues of the series.
jeez. You got a stack.
I'm almost done with the first box. All right. So in the last haul, I mentioned that I'm compendium all of the Remender softcover books, and this is the next one that I've got, Nightmare.
Oh, I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, neither did I until I Googled Remender's works, and then the whole list of books came up. And then 5 volume of Peter Pan the First. This is an Image Shadowline book. So Peter Pan set in one of the wars. Can't remember which one.
Is that what
Yeah.
that's about?
There is a hardcover volume, only one volume, and it collects the I think the first. Wait, let me just go through this first. That's volume 5. The only hardcover that's available for this series collects the first 2 trades, and that's it. They don't have more than that hardcover. So, not wanting to buy that, just buy this and then make my own hardcover. What else? What else? Last volume of Transmat, volume 10. So this completes my collection, and I got this book as a free gift for one of the can't remember which book I got, and it's a TKO book, Red Fork. I think it's a one and done story. This is slightly bigger than normal trade, but it is the same size as the other TKO books.
Oh, and that's pretty big then. Yeah.
Yeah, same height, but soft cover. Not a problem. It can be turned into a hardcover. Right. So talking about hardcovers, I'm gonna jump onto the regular size hardcovers that I've got. This particular one is has been adapted into a movie. 30 Days a Night.
Has that got all 3 in it?
I think more than 3. I think. Definitely more than 1 because it's thick.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
not silver gilded gilding, but it is ash gray. I'm not sure if there you go. Won these 3 in an eBay auction. They were I think I got them for like about $3 each. Batman Absolution, Captain America The Chosen, and not Punisher but Destroyer.
Wait till you read. I want to tell me what you think of Destroyer.
No idea what this is.
Yeah, I've read that.
Got this from Santan Upgrade Soul. It's been on in stock trades for a while. Been sitting on it. Finally, when he posted it for sale, I went on to IST to check whether it's still available. It's not, so got it from him at a really good price. And then this particular book, I saw it in one of the hauls in our Facebook group. It's Yesterday's Tomorrow by Grant Morrison.
Typical
Were we
title
meant to do
for
a
Grant.
whole year? Were we meant to do a whole year's worth of hauls, were we? Holy
Sharif.
moly.
Sharif needs his own freaking videos, mate.
All right, let's last few. Promise. Deluxes and whatnot. Batman, Man Who Laughs. I'm just gonna breeze through this because most.
That's what I want. Nice House on the Lake. Yep.
I've
I
got
wouldn't
the
mind one as
first 4 single issues, and then I stopped because for sure that it's gonna be. This particular book, I had the regular size hardcover, sold it because I wanted the deluxe.
Oh, I love that freaking book, man. Have you read that before, Sharif?
Yeah, I've read that, and then I sold it because I wanted the bigger format.
Man,
Really,
that's so good.
really sad, really good.
If you don't know about that book, basically it's in Beirut or something, and basically a bomb explodes near a zoo, and basically all the animals can escape, and they can talk, or at least we can hear their thoughts. And it's about a couple of lions navigating through a war zone, and it's freaking so good. You've never cared more about a lion since The Lion King.
No true word said. And Hip Hop Family Tree, shiny cover. Yeah. So when I first got this and I opened the pages, if you have not seen the interiors yet,
oh yeah.
So they're kind of old school. So when I saw the interiors for this one, it reminded me of another book that I do have, and it's from the same guy at Fisker, which is
the Grand Design.
Grand Designs, yeah.
X-Men Grand Design, yeah, exactly.
Also, Final Dragon by Ed Kearsley is in that same sort of old school tones as well.
Interesting. I might look into it.
Yeah.
Next is an icon book, Incognito, Brubaker and Sean Phillips.
Damn, I've always wanted that too.
Hard
Funny,
to
I thought
find.
that was the Hood first looking at it.
Yeah.
I thought so too.
Mm.
Thought it was a Marvel book, but it's not. So I've been on the hunt for image hardcover books, and this particular book came out in a sale in one of the US Facebook groups. I've never heard of it, but when I saw the spine, it's an image book. It's a hardcover. I don't care what it is. I had to have it, and it's Little Bird.
Wow, that artwork looks nice. Yeah. Yeah, wicked.
And a monster book from Image, another hardcover. Moonshine. Like I said, I'm just gonna blaze through another Image hardcover. Velvet. This one I had to get it from my LCS because I couldn't get anywhere else. So hey, support your local shops. Bum, 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 bum. Another one for the show.
Awesome.
Yeah, so this is
You checking
number
the
8.
clock?
Number 8. Couple more.
Awesome.
Only find them when they're dead. I've seen reviews of this one. Can't wait to get into it because of
Yeah, that was
art
beautiful art
and
too.
the color. Had the trades, sold it for the hardcover. These are oversized. This is the last book for the Krakoan age. I'm not gonna go beyond this anymore. This
Leigh,
one
you're
I had
big. You like Mr. Sinister, don't you?
Who?
No, Leigh. Do you like Mr. Sinister? Have we had this discussion? Because I find Mr. Sinister to be weird. He's my least favorite X-Men villain.
I do like Mr. Sinister because he is weird.
Yeah, right.
I like the costume, mate. You know, the old genetic scientist and stuff. But I think I really liked him when they did Jean Grey and Cyclops in the 90s, went back in time. Jean-Paul Leon did the artwork and they took them back to like 1890 or something. In that period I loved so much, that London, you know, like industrial period. And it was before he became Mr. Sinister, and he was actually like a doctor, and
right.
and they sussed him out, and that's a really cool story. Don't ask me what it's called. You can Google that stuff. Google is your friend. But you know, like I do like Mr. Sinister. Thumbs up.
But what's it called, Leigh?
I don't know, Bo. I just established that with you, mate. You'll have to Google
sorry.
that. Google is your friend. I don't remember some things, man. You know, like it's just names. It's like comic book names are all like Steven Seagal movies. Dead again, dead here, he's dead this time. Oh, off he goes, he's dead. You know, like I can't remember them all.
Hey, Sharif, I'm sorry that I derailed you, but let me derail you one more time.
Yeah.
Did you say that's you done with Krakoa? Because is it not working for you? I really enjoyed Krakoa at the start, and then COVID happened, and I just found myself not keeping up with single issues. Are you fell out of interest with it, or explain why that's your last one?
Well, I wanted to be the last one because you know it's a I read some of that. It's a good jumping off point, so I thought. With X-Men, it always goes on. I mean, well, fair enough. With every other books, I could say the same. But man, X-Men lore is so big. I don't want it to take too much of my shelf space. But then in saying that, there was supposed to be another event after Sins of Sinister that actually closes off the Krakoan age.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So as if of this video, that's my last book of the Krakoan age. Yeah. And this one collects, I think 5 or 6 of the single issues. So Stanley makes Doctor Doom, The Thing, Spider-Man, some other characters. Just like Bo. Only 2 Omnis. Finally got my second one. I am gonna get that fixed. And another Hulk got the Immortal last month, and Maestro this time around.
Oh,
And that's it.
wow.
Stop the clock.
The
That's
clock
what we got time
exploded.
for today. Sorry, Leigh.
Howdy. Well, there's 3 things I've learned on today's show. Sharif's got 6 jobs because, man, that's an expensive habit you've got there, mate. Bo, I've never read any of the comics that you've shown, so thank you for showing me that. And Spedsy, we were talking about truth earlier. It is indeed true, the Dave Dye story about the artwork, and I am very jealous. That's probably why I've been sitting here so quietly, because I've been chewing my lip, and feeling the rage and burn inside. So now moving on to my haul, because I'll tell you another truth of me. When I got onto the show earlier in the green room, I said to Bo, "So Bo, what exactly is a haul?" And Bo responded to me in a very politely expletive way fashion what a haul show was. So I'm going to do my best to haul. And I'm going to not lie to you. I have bought these, but, well, the first one was bought a little while ago, back in summer 1993. So now I'm a big fan of Australian comic books. So I was put on the spot today, and the first thing that got to my mind was I'll go to my portal and I'll pull out some Aussie comic books. So I bought this from the newsagents in 1993. I would have been about 14, 15. And it's one of those comic books that made their mark on me as a young fella. There's fan art in the back, and there's some characters in there. Look at this, man. There's a King's Comic ad there,
Wow.
going on. And there's Cyber Swine. There's the Cutting Crew. It was 52 pages of black and white goodness, and it was only $2.95. So the next one. Now, this was in December 1993. I was on a roll here, man. I was sucking up black and white Australian artwork. You get these things at newsagents, man. Any newsagents you went to, you get Conan, black and white, the Saga of Conan. You get your Marvel, you get your DC. I didn't want any of them. I wanted Australian stuff. So I went to this one next, probably not in that order, but for right now, because it's on top of the queue, it is next. So just roll with me here. So in this one, and I'm going back in my mind, I'll just have to reread a couple of pages. Oh, yep, that's correct. Yep. All right. So we've got the Crimson Warrior. Oh, look at this. This issue was dedicated to Todd McFarlane. That's how far what do they call him? The Todd father or something's hand reaches. People were like even imitating him in Australia. So we've got such things here as Aggression, Bloodchild, Crimson Warrior, The Shark, The Wraith, and Johnny Luck. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, look, there's a little bit of Todd McFarlane love for you there. Have a look at that. Look at that. So there you go. It was good stuff, and I was rolling. So this is how out of chronological order I am. I'm stepping backwards in time. So this was May 1993, and this was issue 1. So issue 1 was a pretty big comic back in the day, and it was available pretty much everywhere. There's King's Comics, always promoting Australian comic books, and there's a big old double-page splash poster thingy there, which I thought was too cool. I was one of those kids that didn't pull the posters out of comic books because I didn't want to ruin my comic books. You know how it is. And people would say, "Oh, look at my comic book posters on the wall," and I'd be like, "Nay, it stays in." But this is, this is just me. So this was like, we got Cyber Swine going on in here, and there's a couple of other Australian dudes rolling along here, man. You got Ant Larkin. There you go. There's I finally found the indica. So, and the little thing here. So look, I'm gonna
got a bunch of other Australian dudes in here.
Action. Now, I'm not trying to lay any dumps on these dudes because you motivated me. It's just a lot of alcohol, a lot of partying, a lot of other things have happened, like in that time that I can't really remember every succinct aspect of what I was reading at 14 or 15. But moving on. bringing it back into a little bit more modern times. We've got issue 1 of Aussie, oi, oi. Now,
I own that too.
if memory serves me correctly, which generally doesn't, but yep, here we go, June 1919. Bloody hell, I haven't gone back that far. June 2014. So, by Nat Carmichael. So good old Nat still cruising around with Oz Comic. There you go, the publisher there, and he looks after Dylan Naylor and all of his stuff at the moment. He's still pretty avid in the Australian comic book scene. Speaking of Dylan Naylor, there's some stuff. Look at him go there. Dylan Naylor, a great Australian comic creator and artist, and you know, he's floating about. Look him up on Facebook, bombard him if you will with requests. Why not? Get that man some Mulu. All right, so next we have
first look up what Mulu means.
Mulu. For anyone that doesn't know what Mulu is, it's just a word I came up with right then and there because I'm rolling and trying to be quick. So I will translate that for you as money. Maybe getting to do a band poster, buy a comic book off him. I don't know because I like promoting.
That was your verbal autocorrect, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Don't get me started on that autocorrect. I hate it. But anyway, that's a story for another time. So I'm moving on to a legend of the Australian comic book scene, Mr. Gerald Carr, and his comic book, The Vixen. I used to collect these when I was younger as well. The man has an amazing story, and he's one of those people that hopefully in the oncoming new year, etc., I will be able to get on Tuesday Chinwag, because that dude has a story that will blow your mind. Here's an absolute random one for you. I think I'm one of the only people probably left alive that has this. And this is from my great mate, Ryan Vella. This is his very first comic book that he did ever so long ago. It's called Peace Pipe. Read between the lines of what possibly the title is referencing. I think it is actually referencing what you're thinking, but I'm not, I'm not going to, like pat you on the back for that. That's a terrible mind you've got. But anyway, he did such a cool job, man. You know, like, this is how underground this dude is. Started from here and got to where he is now. He's put it in a bound book. Look at this stuff, man. He's
Sharif's jealous of that binding.
Binding them in. Oh man, unbelievable. But this is Ryan Vella's stuff, Peace Pipe. So sucked in for anyone that doesn't have it. I've got it. You can't get it off me. There's no move going to change my hand into that. So there you go. Next one was a totally random one. I had Mr. Danny Nolan on a Tuesday Chinwag about 12 months ago, and Danny sent me some of his artwork. One of the artworks, comic books that he did is called Art by Others. Now, Danny wrote the stories in this, and there's a whole heap of other artists that do short stories and things. I would highly recommend that. Danny is quite an accomplished writer, and if Danny watches this show, I wish Danny would do more writing because you're very good at it, mate. So continue on. You will find this, I believe, in the Comx shop, which sponsors the show. And moving on to another random one. Last year, this is the most recent, so here you go. Last year, obviously we're friends with Chris Pitcairn, who is, a great comic book artist and creator around Australia. And he and Nicole Kane did a comic book which caught me by surprise. And I was very lucky to get a copy of this from Chris. And it is called Hell Courtesan. I would highly recommend anyone that enjoys Australian comic books to go and check out this, because that is one hell of a story, and it has got some wicked artwork. It's beautiful presentation. I enjoyed it immensely, read it twice. It sits in my portal. I actually have 2 copies of it. I enjoyed it, that much, because when something's so nice, you may as well buy it twice. So that is my haul for now over the last 30 years. So
and something so nice, you know what to do. Spend that Mulu. We'll be
here we go. Then creating something Mulu. Make it work for you.
That's fantastic.
Now I sound like a bank. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
The bank of mood.
Oh, that was fantastic. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on what is the last haul of 2023, our Ho, Ho, Ho haul. We are going to be back very soon, but if you do want to check us out on Instagram, please go to this banner. I don't know. Go check that out. Type that into Instagram. You can see us there. If you are a collector, if you have your own creation, if you are an Australian comic book creator, or even if you're not, you don't have to be Australian. I don't know why I say that. If you're just a creator, you want to come on to AussieVerse. We'd love to have you. You can also check us out on TikTok, where we try to post daily. You can go to the Facebook group, aptly named AussieVerse for Life. Check out our graphic designer and thumbnail creator and editor, A51_designs. Have a big shout out for Comx, because that is a great place to go check out all of the Australian comic book stuff. If you do want to check out Spedsy, go check him out right here. If you do want to check out Leigh, check him out right here on Instagram. And last but not least, Sharif, what is AussieVerse?
For life.
That's right, baby, for life. We'll catch you soon.